Question 4b. The graph below shows two straight lines, L1 and L2. Let's see. Okay. You have L1, which is this line, L2, which is that other line. Alright. So that's L1 and L2. L1 intersects the x and y axis at 4, 0, L1. It intersects the y-axis at, good, when x is 4, y is 0, right here. And 0, 2, that's the y-axis, when x is 0, and y is 2, right here, good. These are the intersections, respectively. L2 intersects the x and y-axis, the x-axis at 1.50. Okay, right here, that's 1.5, 0. 0 means it's right on the x-axis, it doesn't go up or down, which is right at this point. And 0, negative 3. When x is 0, that's right in the middle on the y-axis, negative 3. They didn't write all the numbers, they left out the 1, the 3. Alright, respectively. Okay, good. What do they say you're to do? Determine the equation of the line L1. Let's copy this and paste it on our whiteboard here. The equation of the line L1. We want the equation of the line L1. L1. Alright. Now, generally, the equation of a straight line is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept wherever it cuts the y-axis. So L1 intersects the y-axis right here at 2. So far you can see that c is 2. So what we have is y is equal to mx plus 2. What you will need to find are m and c. We already find c. But m now, the gradient. Here, what we could do is to say the gradient of this line, if we form a right angle triangle right here, the right angle would be here, right? It would be the rise, how much it rises over how much it runs. So the gradient would be the rise. It rises, well, going from this point to this point, you would be falling. So it's a negative gradient. It goes 1, 2 units down. So it's 1, 2 units down to meet the same level. All right. So you go from 2 to 0. That's 2. That's a rise. It's actually a fall. Over the run, you're running from left to right 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's negative 2 over 4, which is negative a half. So the gradient is negative a half. Another thing you could do also is to say at this point you have the coordinates x is 0, y is 2 right here, and at this point you have coordinates when x is 4, y is 0. If you call this point 1, this would be x1 and this is y1. If you call this point 2, this would be x2 and y2. So you could use a formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and say y2, which is 0. You could have also done y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, as long as you start both with 1 or start both with 2. Alright, so y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 0. So what that would give you is negative 2 over 4, which is negative a half, the same negative a half. So anyway you take it, the equation is y is equal to negative half x plus 2. That's the equation of that line. Y is equal to negative half x plus 2. Alright? Now, that's the equation of the line L1. That's part 1 here. Part 2 says, what is the gradient of the line L2, given that L1 and L2 are perpendicular? Alright, so let's copy this and paste it over here. Alright, let's put it here. Let's just erase some of the working. We're going to keep the equation of that line. Alright, now you're asked, what is the gradient of L2, given that L1 and L2 are perpendicular? First of all, what is the relationship between the gradients of two lines when they are perpendicular? Alright, you remember that? Look it up and then pause the video, look it up and come back if you didn't know. Alright, good. So what is it? When two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradients is negative 1. The gradients multiply to give negative 1. So the gradient of L1, let's call it GL1, multiplied by the gradient of L2 is equal to negative 1. Now they want the gradient of L2. We know the gradient of L1 is negative half. So negative a half multiplied by the gradient of L2 gives negative 1. If you divide by a negative half cancels itself, so you have gradient of L2 equals, you must divide this by a negative half as well. Now negative 1 over negative half, the negatives cancel, so it will be a positive gradient. And then 1 over a half, what is 1 over what is 1 divided by half? It's the same as 1 multiplied by 2 over 1, which is 2. So the gradient of L2 is positive 2. So therefore, gradient of L2 is positive 2. Alright? They say total 9 marks. So the next question is question 5. We will do question 5 at a later date.